Hi there and welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm IceMan and today we are doing a champion guide on the one, the only Astralon. Angel from above, death and destruction, angel of love, what are we going to call him? You know, he's got so many nomikas, or whatever, however you pronounce that. Yeah, really cool champ, and let's dive into it, shall we? So we're going to start off with his aesthetics, and let's face it, he is one of the best looking champions they've ever released. I mean, he looks like he's wearing boots, but even his boots have toes formed into them. He's got gems and hearts and stuff like that all over him. He's got these epic wings. He's got this kind of coolish halo. I think that might have looked could have looked slightly better, but that's the only thing I'd say slightly bad about him. His swords have this like fiery red glow around them. He's got these little sort of, if we zoom in a bit, you'll be able to see a bit easier. He's got like these red eyes, like some sort of script across his chest. You know, feathers keep falling from his wings. He'll end up wingless at this rate. Yeah, really cool looking champion, one of the best I've ever seen so far. They do keep improving their game with this sort of thing, and you know, what more can you say about that? So anyway, let's take a look at this guy's abilities. So this guy's basically a warrior angel. We love angels on this channel. Take a look, what do you think? We do love a good angel. Anyway, yeah, I know I like the memes and stuff, but you know, it's a bit of fun, it's a bit different, and that's what we like to be on this channel. So without further ado, we're going to dive into his abilities, and we've got his A1 Hellbinder. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 30% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. This can actually be booked up by another 20%, and the damage can be increased by 10%. So you can get that up to a 50% chance of placing a decreased defense debuff. Countess Licks will team up and join the attack if they are on the same team. So that's really cool. You've got this basically inbuilt ally attack if you bring this champion along. I don't have her, so I can't show you that. If I get her at some stage, I might revisit that, or in showing her, we'll bring him along and show it then. So yeah, the pretty cool ability there. Countess Licks will use their default skill. Still, it's an improvement, it's great, it's nothing bad. She will not team up on this attack if the skill is used when counter-attacking or when teaming up to attack with another champion. So basically, you can't get her to go again if, you know, you can't cheat and use an ally attack that gets the other champions to join in, then she joins in because he did it. It won't work that way. It only does it when you're using a normal A1, which is fair enough. The A2, Divine Imminence. Yeah, I think I said that right. Attacks one enemy will ignore increased defense, strengthen, and ally protection buffs. So, I mean, it's not going to ignore everything, don't get me wrong, but it ignores ally protection, which is a big one of mitigating damage. Increased defense, lots of champs have it. Strengthen is starting to become a bigger part in the game. It's going to ignore all those and really hit home and do some damage. Now, just like another great champion I do not have, Ultan, this also revives a random ally with 40% HP and places a shield buff on them equal to 20% of their max HP for 2 turns if this attack kills an enemy. Also places a shield buff on this champion equal to 20% of their max HP for 2 turns if the attack kills an enemy. So absolutely brilliant. One of your allies is dead, he comes along, he knocks somebody down, picks somebody up, puts a shield on them, puts a shield on himself. So if you can build him up with some decent HP, it's worth doing. Personally, I feel he's more of a damage dealer / debuffer. So trying to build him with enough HP, enough attack, enough quick damage, enough accuracy, it's a lot of stats to look at, but we'll get into that in a minute. So this starts on a 4-turn cooldown, can be booked down to 3. You can also increase the damage by a further 20%, and it hits pretty hard, I have to say. Light of Sanctity is A3. Starts on a 5-turn cooldown, can be booked down to 4. Removes all buffs from targets under Veil or Perfect Veil. Then places a 25% weaken debuff on enemies who have Veil or Perfect Veil buffs removed. Then attacks all enemies. So he does this first, puts the weaken out there, and then slams home. So you think about those champs like Duchess Lilatu, there may be some others that do it. There's certainly others that place Veil and Perfect Veil in this game. But Duchess Lilatu is a big one that he's a counter to be fair. I think she might even do the ally protection and whatnot. I don't know, I don't have the champion. I faced off against her plenty of times and I find her really annoying. But this guy, all his abilities seem to be a major counter to her. So that's really cool. He's going to place the weaken, do more damage. And then on top of this, he's also got 75% chance, 100 when booked, of placing a stun debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Now, obviously, you can't increase the length of that stun, but you can increase the length of the weaken and the decreased defense that he puts out. Like I say, you can book this up to 100, get another 20% of damage out of it, and decrease the cooldown from 5 turns to 4. Well worth doing. This ability hits really hard. It's a great ability. It's A3. He's A3. We did that. He's passive. Emissary fills this champion's turn meter by 3% every time an ally is hit. So he's constantly getting boosted turn meter every time your team's getting attacked. Decreases incoming damage by 25% if the attacker's attack is lower than this champion's. So if you can build him with as high attack as you can get, and he's getting attacked by somebody with lower attack than himself, certainly by defense-based champions, HP-based champions, and if he's high enough to beat an attack-based champion, he's going to decrease the damage by 25%, which is huge. I must admit, I do kind of wish they'd put something in there that actually allowed him to, because he is kind of squishy, and it's attack-based champions that he's going to be weakest against. So I kind of would have preferred if they did this in another way somehow, and I'm not sure how, but you know, just to give it a bit more utility everywhere. But anyway, that's his skills, and let's move on to his artifacts. We're going to go for his total stats. Alright, so health points, we've got him up to 31.7k. I'd like that higher, but again, it's doing what you can with the gear you can. 4k attack, 1.6 defense, 179 speed. Again, I'd like that faster, but it's again doing what I could with with what I had basically. We've managed to get 193 crit damage out of him. Now we've managed to also get his accuracy up to 306. I would actually like that higher for if I'm going to use him in the Doomtown. I'm not sure if I will. It's certainly high enough for normal, which is all I'm doing at the moment anyway, so that's not a huge deal for me. So obviously the reason we are building him out for accuracy is we want him landing that stun, we want him landing the weaken, we want him landing the decreased defense. He is a debuffer as well as an attacker. We've got his crit damage up pretty high, considering I'm in nearly all 5-star gear, and the 6-star piece I do have, I leave unrolled fully. As you know, I like to do that on this channel, if you've seen it in my previous videos. I like to build these champions, at least for the guide videos. I'm not saying I don't necessarily try to then build them up higher and improve on them at a later stage. Of course I do. I use them, and you know, if I can get them better after that, great. But for the videos, for everyone to see, I like to have them in either all 5-star gear, or at least mitigate when I do have to have 6-star gear, as in the case with this guy. To be fair, I could have brought in a slightly different banner, and it would have been a 5-star, and I would have actually gained a little bit of attack, but then I lose defense and HP. It was neither here nor there really, and it's not fully rolled up, so it kind of balances out anyway. So that's where we're at. So we've gone for an accuracy banner. I would have preferred a substat in attack, obviously, and speed. I just don't have it on this account. But he is so weak that actually getting some substats and defensive stats is not necessarily a bad thing. It's going to help him survive that a little bit longer. Obviously, crit damage on the amulet. Again, we've gone for accuracy. We managed to get a roll there at least. We've got some attack on it, which is good. We've gone for attack ring. with a roll in attack. Unfortunately, I didn't get any better rolls than this, so it's not got the best sub-stat rolls. We've got HP, we've got defense, we've got attack, we've got a bit of everything on it, but it's an attack ring. Trying to boost his attack up as high as we could get it, obviously. You know, 4K, it's a good solid number. I prefer it a bit higher, but you know, with the gear I've got, it's and put on him, it's what I could do. So we've gone for a perception set, as you can see, to increase his accuracy. All his gear, I've tried to go for crit damage, crit rate, accuracy in it, and speed where I could. These are speed boots, obviously. We've gone for attack chest, again, accuracy, crit rate, speed. That's and this I mean, this for him is a really good chest actually. You've got the attack, you've got the accuracy, and we do need all of that. We've got the crit rate. I would have kind of preferred actually getting one less roll in accuracy and getting one in crit rate, just to bump that crit rate above 99, which was really annoying. I wanted to hit 100 or just over, but 99 was where we ended up with, and yeah, we'll take it. We've got some speed and a roll into it, so that's a really good piece, that one. Obviously, we've gone for a crawl set to increase his attack and also ignores 5% of enemy defense. The perception set's obvious. We've gone for a divine crit rate set, again, to help get his crit up. Shield, again, nice piece with a bit of crit damage on and 3 rolls into crit rate. This is what helped me get his crit rate up. Again, we've got a headpiece here that's not too bad. It's got a rolling crit. It's flat attack, rolling attack, which is annoying. It's got a double rolling speed, which is why it's on there. I could actually increase his speed a bit by glyphing him out. I'm not doing that for the moment because I'm not exactly flush with speed glyphs, and I want to save those for when I need them more desperately. And he's got this inbuilt turn meter booster anyway, so I don't know that you necessarily need to build him out so fast. Again, the weapon, we've gone for accuracy, speed, crit rate, HP. You want to get his HP up if you can, because the shield he gets is based off of HP. So giving him a fairly decent HP is actually a good thing, and in fact, we will do that now since I've noticed it. We'll glyph this out. Won't necessarily use the best on him because he's not a HP champion. There you go, that gives him a bit more. So bumps his HP up a little bit. Not a huge amount, but you know, you take what you can get where you can get it. Let's move over to his masteries. We'll start off on the support tree. I mean, arguably you could go defense tree with him, but because I want the accuracy, I've gone support tree. So we've got accuracy into more accuracy. We've gone for Evil Eye. I didn't see there was any point in going for Law of Steel. Increases the base stat set bonuses of all artifact sets that increase base stats by 15%. And I'm not sure that really applies to him. Let's see, 15%. I mean, no, wouldn't do anything for that. It would maybe actually improve your attack a little bit on this, because it does actually increase a base stat by 15%. None of the crit rate ones actually do 15%, they do 12%. So I don't know that it applies to those either. So for the sake of one set, it wasn't worth doing. Not for me. So I've gone for Evil Eye to decrease the target's turn meter when this champion hits him with a default skill for the first time. It's useful everywhere. It's useful in the arena. It's useful in content, dungeons, you name it. Pretty much everywhere you're going to want a little bit of turn meter decrease. There's very few places where you don't. And then obviously we've gone for Master Hexer to increase the length on the... You can't do the stun. It's a shame. I really wish you could with this without having to go for another mastery, but is how it is. So you can increase the weaken and you can increase the decreased defense, which, you know, is still helpful. So it's worth taking. Plus I didn't see what else would be more viable here that we could get to. I mean, you've only got Evil Eye, and he's up to 100 on the stuff we need him on anyway, so there's no point in that. Then we've gone over for the offense tree. Obviously we've gone for a fairly standard damage build. Arguably I could have maybe gone for Heart of Glory to increase attacking with full HP, but he doesn't always attack with full HP. That really only works at the start of a fight, nuking in the arena, which actually, to be fair, is my favourite place for him, so maybe I'd swap that out and go for that. But then you're also facing people with shields a lot in the arena, so either way you're going to get some benefit. Instead, we've gone for crit rate, crit damage, shield breaker, which increases damage inflicted to targets under shield buffs by 25%, much bigger increase, to be fair. And like I say, a lot of people have shields in the arena, even if it's just somebody in a shield set, so that'll help you break that down. We've gone for Whirlwind of Death, increases speed by enemies killed. Ruthless Ambush increases damage inflicted by 8% for the first hit on each enemy. Then we've gone Wrath of the Slain, increases damage inflicted for 5% for each dead ally. Bring It Down increases damage inflicted by attacking targets with a higher max HP. I've gone for Blood Shield, places a shield buff on this champion for 1 turn when this champion kills an enemy. Value of the shield is equal to 15% of this champion's max HP, occurs once per turn. Now the thing is, shields tend to stack in this game, so the fact that if he kills an enemy he gets a shield himself, then he gets that shield, he's actually just going to be getting a bigger shield, so it's worth doing. And like I say, he's a bit of a squishy champ, so it helps keep him alive a bit more. Stoke the Fury increases damage inflicted by 4% for each debuff on this champion, stacks up to 12. In any content you do, pretty much, you're going to be taking debuffs, and you've got a good chance of taking debuffs. You in the arena, alright, if you're going first and you're hoping to go first, you're not going to have them there. However, in nearly all other content, or if you happen to go second or don't kill everybody on your first go, then you are likely to have debuffs, so at which point it comes into play. Helm Smasher, 50% chance of ignoring 25% of the target's defense. For skills that ignore defense, this 25% is in addition to the amount ignored by the skill. You know, it's a good solid build for him. I wouldn't necessarily copy it blindly, it's based on where I'm going to use him, how I'm going to use him, and so on. So let's take him into some content, shall we? Alright, let's lower the speed so you can see what happens here. Decreased defense goes out, we've got the increased attack up. 60 odd K, 60 odd K, 60 odd K across the board. Some pretty solid hits there, and obviously everyone got stunned because he's got good solid accuracy, so they're not coming back at us and doing anything. We'll speed this up again now. That's his A1. It's not quite, I mean, it depends. Sometimes he's hitting for 12k with his A1, sometimes he's hitting for around 9k with his A1. If they've got decreased defense and everything else up, he can actually hit for 20 odd k. There you go, that was a bit better, 1713. And of course he goes down. Unfortunately, he is the weakest one on this team. And he's down again, blimey. Now, I've done a fair number of runs with this chap now. In fact, I just did a run, in all honesty, and realised, me being a complete dope, as I am, I forgot to move myself back out of the way after doing the Masteries. So I was smack bang in the middle for the whole thing, so I've had to redo the fight. And in every fight I've done with him previously, he's died once and only once. This is the only time he's ever died twice, and it's the one we're going to use in the video. So, you know, that's how luck runs sometimes. Now you see, yeah, I got a nice little chunky shield there from killing that chap. Not huge. Now the thing is here, it brings a lot of utility to help you get through the waves. He does solid hard hits, at least when he's up. Personally, if you're going to mainly use him in dungeons, I would maybe look at building his defensive stats a bit higher and worrying a bit less about the damage he does. If you want to get the utility out of the stun and everything from him being up, go for a defensive ring rather than an attack ring. Go for maybe, pardon me, maybe purposely go for a amulet if you've got one that has defense or HP in the substats, and try and get a roll on it. Any little things you can here and there just to increase his survivability, because he is squishy. Now the thing to remember here is, although I mean he's done solid damage, you know, 760 odd K. Xavier's come out with 1.8 million. Cold Heart's got 1.1. The reason for that though, for those two, is the boss. Cold Heart does enemy max HP. Xavier has all those poisons coming out on the dragon. If you took out the boss and it was just the waves, like if we could do a fight on Doom Tower for instance against just one of the wave things, you'd probably find that if I put this exact same team in there, they'd all be fairly similar in numbers, I'd imagine. There wouldn't be a hell of a lot in it. I mean, is he the most god tier amazing champion out there? No, I don't personally think so. He's a good, solid damage dealer, and he is going to be amazing for my faction wars. In fact, I've already used him in faction wars. I think it was yesterday or whenever it was, and he was brilliant, absolutely amazing. Managed to get me another couple of levels higher. I still need to work on my faction wars team a little bit on the Sacred Order, but still I'm getting a lot closer because of champions like him. He's going to help you out for the faction rooms in the Doom Tower. The Doom Tower itself, he could help you get through those waves, because he does do really good damage on the waves. The only thing is, like I say, he's squishy. Again, if I had somebody else in here who's, I mean, instead of using Xavier, like I maybe would on clearing waves, I'd probably bring somebody like Abyss in, at which point I could take out Madame Ceres and bring in Warlord, somebody like that, somebody Valkyrie, somebody that brings a lot of shields. Then he's less likely to die and you're going to get more benefit out of his attack all the way through. And you've got to think about things like that. He's a squishy champ, playing around it, but he is a very solid champ. As you saw, he CCs the waves. Admittedly, the cooldown on the CC is a bit longer than I would like. I kind of wish that it was on the 3-turn one on his A2 or something, and that would be a little bit better. So it's only a 1-turn one anyway, so 1 turn CC up every 3 turns, but actually really solid and give him a bit more utility. But as is, he's absolutely amazing. He's really strong, really solid, a really hard hitter. You know, he's up there with one of my top nukers. Xavier's up there with one of my top nukers for just sheer damage and getting through waves. Abyss is one of my top nukers. You know, these are the champions that I've got for that sort of role, and he's up there with them. He's no slouch, not by any stretch of the imagination. So, like I say, Ice Golems, yes. Dragon's Lair, yes. Spider's Den, if you're struggling and you need somebody who can do some damage, and don't forget he's got that inbuilt revive on his A2, so if he kills a spiderling, he can revive one of your teammates. He's got the stun on the A3. The only problem is, like I say, it's on a 4-turn cooldown, and it only lasts 1 turn, so it's not amazing. And like again, he's also a bit squishy, but he could maybe help you on certain levels of it. I've not tried it out myself, so I'm not going to say go ahead and do it, but I could see from his kit where it could work. Fire Knight is the wrong affinity for 20 at least, but on lower levels, different affinities, he's going to be solid. He's got a double hit on his A1, and he does some really good damage, and he's got a inbuilt revive. So yeah, I mean, all in all, Fire Knight 20, no. Spider's Den, maybe, on certain levels, depending on what champions you've got, but he's not going to be amazing, I would say. Dragon's Lair is great, Ice Golems Pete is great, and Doom Tower I think is really solid. And the one other area that I think he's really cool for, and obviously I do really like and will use him for, is the arena. Let's see if we've got a team. I mean, there's some good solid teams here. We'll go for one like this. It's got double revive. I'm not a big fan of double revive teams. And see if we can get a Duchess and see what it does there. Because obviously, like I said, he's somewhat of a counter to Duchess. So I'd like to show that off. I've not even tried it myself, to be fair. I've done a few. I've been swapping him in and using him on green affinity fights or some blues. And he is really solid. So here we go with the stun. Nearly nuked out Arbiter, nearly nuked out Seal of the Drakes there. Really solid hits. And, you know, most of them are stunned. Razin isn't. Obviously, he's got really high resistance. Now, the shield we had up from Warlord, like I say, he helps and help keep him alive. Let's see if we can do this, shall we? We'll take Syl out because she's the most dangerous one there, which we do easily. Decrease turn meter on Razin. Go for Razin again. Go for Candrafon, I think. She will just kill Candrafon. Don't have to worry about him. Use the A1 on Razin here. See again, weak hits because he's the weak affinity here, and that's what I was worried about. Obviously, he was the strong affinity, or at least equal affinity for both the revivers, so he took them out nice and easily. Let's do a refresh, see what we get. It's funny, usually I'm always seeing loads of Duchesses and I hate going up against it because she's a pain in the arse. Now I actually want one, I'm not getting one. Oh, here we go, we got a Duchess. Right, so this is exactly the sort of team we wanted to face. They're a good solid power. He's the right affinity for taking out Duchess as well, you'll notice. Alright, he's going to be weak against Argala here, but only that one champion. So obviously we start out with Hegemon. Didn't get much there. I'm guessing they've got high resist, this team, since we literally only managed one stun and no cooldowns whatsoever. Hopefully it won't matter. Oof. Ow. Can't stun anybody. We can try and kill them, I suppose. No, we want to use that one on the Veil. Let's try that. No, right, okay. Cooldowns. Yeah, there we go. Actually, although doing that, we're not going to have any perfect Veils. Oof. God, we might as well pick him up. Yeah, we're going to do some damage here. But they're not going to take the stun. We'll get some shields up on everybody. They are a very solid team. Good solid hit there against Arbo. We'll take her out. Shield down a bit. See what we can do about stripping this stuff. There we go. Now he's got fear on him. I'm not happy about that. Here we go for the big hit again. Now, longer fight than I was planning on, but as you can see, really solid. I didn't get a chance to remove those veils as I was really wanting to. It just didn't work out that way. Obviously, partially due to my own setup, team setup, and that's a big part of why I've set the team up the way I do. My team is there to deny people, to stop them doing what they can, and only let them use their A1s, and then come in and nuke the crap out of them as best I can, and then I swap in whichever champion I feel is best. And he actually came in really handy for me for that, because obviously I've got Abbas for a nuker, so she's strong against magic. I had Iron Brago, he's strong against force, and now I've got a really solid nuker in Astralon here, who is a great nuker against spirit. So now I've got a nuker that works against every affinity, which is really cool, really solid. Like I say, is he the most game-changing champion out there? No. Having said that, we've had far too many fusions where the champions have been a bit meh or a bit crap, and I feel like we're kind of changing a corner on that one. He's really solid. He's not broken, which is where you want him. He's no oh, his name's going right out. I mean, Tormund was broken, still is a bit, I think. Rotos, you know, he was broken, but again, neither of those were in the game. I wasn't playing the game when those came out. He's not broken, he's just really good and really solid. He's a good counter against Duchess. He's good in many situations. He's good at clearing waves, and he's a good solid nuker. That's great. What more do you want? And he can be utilised in many areas. So all in all, really love this champ. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. It means more to me than you could ever know. I'm trying to grow this channel, and all those likes mean more people get to see the videos, and therefore we grow the channel. So yeah, if you did like that content, please hit the subscribe button, and you'll get notified. Ding that bell, and you'll get notified next time I release a video. Thanks for watching. Bye.